Hello all you beautiful people, how you doing today? This is Lava Temptress and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, welcome, hi! Today we're going to be going over some more Immersive Engineering. We are almost done with Immersive Engineering, but today we're going to go over the Assembler and the Automated Workbench. And something I realized that I didn't talk about before, if you just go to the question mark here, it actually shows you what items you need to assemble each one also. But I also have it here because some people like seeing it this way better. So 6 of the steel scaffolding, 2 redstone engineering blocks, 2 light engineering blocks, 9 sheet metal, iron sheet metal, make sure it's iron, not the steel, 2 conveyor belts, and 6 of the iron sheet metal slabs, which of course you make like you make regular slabs. All right, and here is how you lay it out. Some people ask, why not just go by this? Because sometimes if you go back and forth, it's really confusing. So sometimes it's just a little bit easier to see it visually laid out for you. So you're going to do the 6 scaffolding here, the 2 redstone engineering blocks with the light engineering block in the middle. Then you're going to do the 6 iron sheet metal here and here. The conveyor belts here, but make sure when you place them down, they're facing the right direction. They should all be facing to the left, or excuse me, to the right, with the light engineering block in the middle. Then on top of that, on top of each of the iron sheet metal, you're going to put the slabs. So 3 here, 3 here, and then directly in the middle, on top of the conveyor belt and the light engineering, you're going to put the 3 iron sheet metal. Now, there's 2 different ways to form this into a machine. This is what the machine looks like, and it even has a nice handy arrow to show you which way it's going. But that's going to depend on which you're going to hit the conveyor belts, but whichever side you hit is going to be the input side. So if I want it like I did this one, blue is my input, orange is my output. So wherever you put it, you're going to want to hit one of the conveyor belts, whichever side you want the input to be. So if I want input on this side, I'm going to smack that conveyor belt right there. So that gives us the blue, which is the input side. And this down here is input for fluid. But if we want input for here, what we could do is break that, put it back. And nice thing is you can just reform these at any time. Only when you reform them, you will lose stuff inside, so be careful of that. So if I wanted input on this side, I simply just break it. Whoops. Come on. Nope, now it's gonna... Well, it's supposed to work on either side. Nope, now it got all messed up. Alright, so hold up. I think the conveyor belts got messed up. So let's... It's the only tricky thing with... Yeah, see, this one's on the wrong side. Needs to be facing inward. And this one needs to be facing outward. So if you want to form it that way, you're gonna have to switch these. So the conveyor belts do matter. There we go. So just make sure you do the conveyor belts. I could edit this and I could do it all nice and perfect, but sometimes I think seeing mistakes other people make, I think sometimes that sticks with you more. So, but that's just me. So put the conveyor belts the way that you want them to go, whichever way you want to form it. So, there you go. Ways to do it, ways not to do it. All right, so once you have formed the machine, like I just showed you, then whichever way you have it, it's going to have the direction telling you which way it could go. Power, of course, goes on top. Wouldn't be a tutorial if it didn't start raining. You can put a redstone contraption here or a simple lever to turn the machine off and on. Now here is really cool. Here is where you can put in fluids. Now, this is really cool because inside it'll hold 3 different kinds of fluid. So I have creosote oil, water, and lava. And you can simply do that by doing different barrels. Or, you know, if you have your big silos and that made, you can also pump them in from there. But for this purpose, I just did the simple barrels, and one connection is all you need, because even though they're separate fluids, they will all connect and go in at the same time. Now, of course, you can only see what's in here, but with a bucket or something else, so you can see what fluids are in here. But for this purpose, I did creosote oil to show you what this does. All right, so in here, you're going to click on it and you're going to put your recipes in here. So for instance, I put that to make the treated wood. So for instance, it does not consume the block, you're just using the block to make the recipe. See how it showed that I was using them, but I still have my 32. Now I could make a chest, or I could put the bucket there. And even though it says a bucket, it will use the fluid from here. So don't worry about that. So and it'll tell you what you're going to make down here. So for instance, I put treated wood planks here. And say I wanted to make the treated wood planks and turn them immediately into wooden storage crates. So let's put some wood in here and see how this works. And of course I have an extra conveyor out here, and it's automatically popping out. Or if I had a storage here, it would go into that. But I wanted it to just pop out on the ground. And just like that, we have 8 wooden storage crates, because that's how many a stack makes. So you can put a whole bunch of stuff in here at the same time. If you don't want to make what the second recipe is, just exit that. And now it's just popping out the planks. Well, it would be if it had more creosote oil. So if it runs out of something, of course, you're just going to have to fill it back up. Or like I said, if you have it automatically pumping from like your silos, which, I mean, if you're setting up a factory, that should be what you're doing, but it also depends on what you want to do. So, and of course you can put the conveyor here and have items automatically going in. So if you automatically want it to create the oak planks, if that's all you want it to make, you can also put stuff here in the inventory like I just did. Now, of course, if I put treated wood in there, it's not going to do anything. If I put the wooden storage crates, you know, I can put all kinds of stuff in here, and it's not going to do anything unless I have a recipe for it. So the oak planks, I had creosote oil and that. But as soon as it runs out of any one thing, in this case, the creosote oil, then it will stop producing it. So even though I put more planks in, it's not going to make anything else. But you can have up to 3 recipes here, and it makes it really awesome to just get some stuff made. Going with that whole factory setting. All right, next we have the, I always get these two confused. The automated workbench. That one was the assembler, so this one is the automated workbench. All right, so for this one, you're going to need 5 steel scaffolding, 1 redstone engineering block, 2 heavy engineering blocks, 4 light engineering blocks, 4 conveyor belts, and 2 treated wood slabs. Make sure that they're treated wood. Even though it looks like it's dark, it's not spruce. It's definitely treated wood. All right, so we're going to put the 2 steel scaffolding, a heavy engineering block, 2 more steel scaffolding, 2 light engineering blocks there, the redstone there. Oh my god, llamas, you scared the poop out of me. And then another steel scaffolding. And then for the second layer, this one is kind of tricky. Let me do the time real quick. All right, so you're going to put the 2 light engineering blocks on top of the already 2 light engineering blocks. So it's going to be the 4 together. You're going to put the 2 treated wood slabs here, and then in the back on top of the heavy engineering, you're going to put the other heavy engineering block. Now, the conveyor belts. These are a little bit tricky. You want them to go from this side, here, here, and out to this side. So you're going to want it to go on a path. So you're going to start, this one is going to go that way. This one is going to go this way. And then these 2 are both going to go this way. Okay, so you see what I mean? So when I put something on here, so for instance, if I dropped this on here, if I drop it properly on here, you know, before it's formed into the machine, if I drop it on there, it will come out right here, which is what you want it to do. So you can test it out before you form it, or if you're having trouble with it, but it should go in that direct pattern. Easy peasy. Now, to form it, you're actually going to hit on this treated wood slab there. There we go. And beautiful, beautiful. It looks like this really cool machine. The power is right up top here. So, you know, for purposes, I just have it connected that way. But there's plenty of power tutorials that I've already done to show you how to do those. All right, so I have, these two are inputs because it's blue. So these two are inputs and everything will pop out here. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go inside the system. I've already put some stuff in here. You can either shift click them in, or you can put stuff in here to go into here. Of course, once it gets full, it's not going to accept anymore, and so therefore it will sit in here. And of course, you can do it in different ways also. Just don't get close enough that you're actually picking it up. All right, but there's also input here. You could also just automatically, you know, sit here and drop stuff in. Now, of course, if there's no room, it's just not going to go in. So because of that, I'm going to turn this for right now, just so it stops spitting stuff out. There we go. All right. So once you have your stuff in here, so I have stuff in here to make this one right here. You have to use one of the blueprints. Well, if you're confused, you can go back over to your handy dandy engineering workbench and click on recipes. So basically what this is, it's going to automatically craft your stuff that uses blueprints to craft it. I don't always find it the most necessary, the most resourceful, but if you're going for whole factory setup and automate stuff, then it works out pretty good. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to have these blueprints. You're going to put a blueprint in to make whichever recipe it is you're going to make. And then you're going to make sure and put those ingredients in. So for instance, I have the projectiles blueprints, but there's also components, arc furnace, electrodes, common projectiles, and metal press molds, which I don't think you're going to use the metal press molds quite a bit in here. I mean, honestly, I think because you only need one to use it on the engineering press. So I don't think you would really use that in there, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so I think one of the most common ones you're probably going to use in here is either the specialized projectiles, the crafting components. I can see you doing the crafting components if you're making a lot of stuff. But for this one, I decided I put the stuff in. We're going to craft this one right here. So once you click on the one that you want it to craft, it'll show up right there, which is kind of cool. But then it'll pull everything out that it needs to make it and pull it out right there. And the animation of it is just like, I am so enthralled by the animation. I think it's beautiful. They did an awesome job with this, but it makes it look like if you're going for that factory setup, it truly makes it look like a factory. And of course, if you want to stop crafting anything, either click on it or click on the other thing that you're wanting to craft. If it doesn't allow you to craft on it, or if it doesn't come through when you click on it, it's because you don't have the proper stuff in there. Let's see. I really don't think I have to make anything else in there. I only made sure the stuff was in there to make this one. But that's as simple as it is. You can shift click the recipe out, put the other recipe in that you're wanting to make. Whatever it is you are trying to do. But again, if it's not crafting it, check and make sure, because it doesn't tell you the recipe here. So check and make sure, which is why I have the bench here, whatever it is. So like for this one, I need 4 hop graphite ingots. Well, I don't have that in there. So of course it's not going to craft it. But if you are having issues, that is the most common issue. You just don't have the proper stuff in there. But look at this. And then we have Tim homing cartridges. And of course, I just have the dropping conveyor belt. I think that one looks really nice with this. You could do all kinds of different ones. I use the simple conveyor belts most of the time just to show you guys, but you could use any of them, of course. But yeah, it's very fancy. I love the way it pops up the recipes here. But of course, if you click on it, it'll just show a blank blueprint area. All right. That is it for this one. We have already gone over a lot of tutorials. I'm getting ready to put them all in a playlist for Immersive Engineering. So if you have questions about power and that kind of stuff, definitely check those out. We're almost done with Immersive Engineering, actually. I think we have 2 more machines. Those will be next time. And then we're going to go over tools and the charging station. Oh, and then the Tesla coil. So 3 more probably tutorials on Immersive Engineering before we move on to the next mod spotlight. All right. If you guys are enjoying, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button with the notification bell. That way you can see when the new videos come out. I appreciate you, as always. Until next time, this is Lava Temptress. Don't get burned. Bye.